My name is Kristen Hunter. I'm the clinical nurse educator for pediatrics and maternity. I have worked for Samaritan for 15 years. I was coming into work on the night shift to teach neonatal resuscitation. I pulled into the parking lot, got out of the car, and experienced a placental abruption. With a placental abruption, it's when the placenta pulls away from the uterus and causes a bleed. I knew I needed direct care, and I was in the right place at the right time. One of our unit assistants helped me into the building. I got upstairs, and that's where I met Michaela Klein.
I've known Kristen for a long time. She has been a huge role model in my life, and I look at her as another mother in my life. I met her down with a wheelchair, and I just remember just running back with her to L&D, and we went into a room, and everyone came together and getting her situated. I was the messenger, making sure she was comfortable.
That's when the labor and delivery team took over. They got Kennedy on the monitor. I was able to hear her heart rate. I knew she was okay. I felt relief. Listening to my baby's heart rate, especially after waiting for her for so many years and knowing she was okay, and I was gonna meet her that night. I knew she was all right. I was ready for whatever is going to happen. I had to give in to total control loss at that point. Having your coworkers be there to help yourself and your family in an emergency situation, knowing their skill set, knowing that they do this for every patient that walks through the door, I knew I was going to be safe, and she was. The night I delivered, Cindy Keenan was in the NICU. She had a table ready, knew Kennedy was going to be born, but I requested her. I asked her to come in the delivery room with me to assist the other nurses that were in there with Kennedy.
It felt really good that Kristen was asking me personally to be in that delivery. I knew we had worked together and she knew my skills and stuff, but to have somebody request you specifically for a delivery, it makes you feel good inside. When I got into the operating room with Kristen, I wanted to make her feel comfortable and let her know that we had her and her baby, and we were going to do our best for both of them.
Cindy was able to give us every opportunity that new parents or experienced parents get when they meet their baby for the first time. My husband was able to go over and cut the cord, do the pictures, and we could have not gotten those opportunities. She could have been whisked away, and they did everything knowing that we'd waited for her for so long for those moments. I couldn't hold my baby for the first time that night. I actually didn't get to hold her for 2 days. But Cindy was able to get me rolled into the room to be able to touch her for the first time, even though she was on all of those machines and wires, and I'm forever grateful for that.
Samaritan is lucky to be able to have a level 2 NICU here. We can keep babies that are born at 32 weeks and above, which Kristen's baby was 34 weeks, so she was able to stay here with us and be close to her family. Kennedy was in our NICU for about 10 days. Initially, she was on oxygen and IV fluids, and each day as she was getting better, we were able to include Kristen and Tim in her care more and more each day.
We got to bring her home. We have an almost 10-year-old daughter. Natalie will be 10 in December, and we've tried for so long to give her a sibling. And the first time she looked at her in her arms, and she goes, "I've waited my whole life to meet you." And that moment right there is everything my husband and I waited for. After I got discharged, I spent a lot of time thinking about everything that happened during our stay. I've always been a big supporter of promotion for staff. I want them to know that they're appreciated. I want them to know that the things that they do for patients are appreciated, that they need to know those things. The care here was absolutely excellent from the time we rolled through the door to the time we went home.